In 5.2, we're going to continue with transversals, but now we're just going to talk about transversals with parallel lines and how those angles with parallel lines relate. So if a pair of parallel lines, L and M, call this L and M, are cut by a transversal, then the following relationships are true. So if we have angle 1, 2, 3, and 4 here again, 5, 6, 7, and 8, then all corresponding angles are congruent. And again, as a reminder, let's list our corresponding angles off to the side. So if we had angle 1, that would be congruent to angle 5. It's in the same position. Then angle 2 is congruent to angle 6. Angle 3 is congruent to angle 7. And angle 4 is congruent to angle 8. And this should be an 8 right here, not a 6. Okay, so if you're having trouble with corresponding angles, think about if I picked up those angles 1, 2, 3, and 4 as a chunk, I picked up those 4 angles and I set them down on top of angle 5, 6, 7, and 8, which ones would align up together? That is corresponding. If I picked up that chunk of 4 and put it on top, angle 1 would match up with 5, 3 would match up with 7, 2, 6, and 4 with 8. Okay, then when we look at alternative interior and exterior angles, they are congruent as well. So if we look for alternate interior, those angles would be angle 3 congruent to angle 6, and angle 4 is congruent to angle 5. They are both inside and they are on different sides of my transversal. The exterior ones, if we have angle 1, that would be congruent to angle 8, and angle 2 is congruent to angle 7. They are both outside and on different sides of that transversal. Okay, then if we have same side interior and exterior angles, they are supplementary. Remember, supplementary means they add up to 180. So if we look for a pair of same side interior, that would be angle 3 and angle 5. If we added those together, we would get 180. They're supplementary. Same with angle 4 and angle 6, same side interior, 180. For our exterior, angle 1 plus angle 7, same side exterior, is 180, and then angle 2 plus angle 8 is 180. Okay, number 4, all vertical angles are congruent. We knew that already. That would make angle 1 congruent to angle 4, angle 3 congruent to angle 2, angle 5 congruent to angle 8, and angle 7 congruent to angle 6. And then finally, all linear angles are supplementary. Now remember, there's a bunch of these. I'm not going to list them all again because we listed them in our last page of notes, but if we look at one example, that would be angle 1 plus angle 2. They are on a line up at the top. They would equal 180. So there are many more examples of linear pairs. Okay, now let's look at some examples. So if we look at number 1, I'm going to give you some of the information about these angles. So this is given to you. You have 1, 2, 105, 3, and you have 5, 6, 7, and 8. That is the information that we're going to start with. And now it wants us to find all the missing angles. So to start with, I'm given 105 in that corner there. I'm going to start with the easiest other angles to find. If I know 105, I know angle 1 is a vertical angle, straight across. So that means 105 must be the same as angle 1. Then I have a linear pair at the top. Angle 1 and angle 2 have to add up to 180. Now if angle 1 is 105, I can take 180 minus 105, and that gives me 75 for angle 2. Then straight across from angle 2, I have angle 3. Those are a pair of vertical angles, so that is also going to be 75. Now I have that group of 4 angles. I can find the rest of them by using alternate interior, alternate exterior, and corresponding. And there's a bunch of different ways that you could find these. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to start with alternate interior. If I have angle 3 is 75, alternate interior to that is angle 5. So that means 5 is also 75. My other alternate interior is 105 and 6, so that means angle 6 is also 105. Then if I do alternate exterior, 105 up top here is alternate exterior to 7, so that one's 105, and then this angle 2, which is 75, is alternate exterior to 8. Which is 75. So again, there's a bunch of other ways that you could have found those. You could have used corresponding, you could have used same side interior, same side exterior. Just pick whichever way makes more sense for you. Okay, so then let's look at example number 2. Okay, we are given that number 2 is a parallelogram. That means that this side and this side are parallel, and this side and this side are parallel. Remember, those arrows mean parallel. Now, if I am given that this angle right here is 30 degrees, this angle is 20 degrees, we're going to call this angle 4 and this angle 5. Okay, now if this line down the middle is our transversal, and we look at these two parallel lines, I'm just going to extend them a little bit so it looks more like what we have been looking at. Now you can turn your parallelogram upside down or turn it sideways so that your parallel lines are like the one above, going horizontally. But if you notice, if we look at angle 30 right here, it is in between those two parallel lines, and it is on the opposite side as my angle 5. So that means they are alternate interior angles, and angle 5 is going to be 30 degrees. Same thing for my angle 4. If we look at this 20 right here, it is on a opposite side of my transversal, and it's in between those two parallel lines as my angle 4. So that means angle 4 is going to be 20 degrees.